Hey y'all, how's it going? My name is Jamie. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you what I'm eating in a day, and I also have my 2-month update to share with you. So stay tuned for the end so I can tell you all the different things that I have been doing, some things that I've learned, and how much weight did I lose. Stay tuned. First meal of the day, I have 2 scrambled eggs with 2.5 ounces of ground beef that was left over from some enchilada meat. It's just ground beef and some green chilies. And I have 1 ounce of sharp cheddar cheese melted within my eggs. And I have half a Quest bar. So I can show you the macros for that. I think this equals out about around 400 calories. And I can't remember everything. Hold on, let me get my phone. Okay, so I've already plugged in what I have going on here. I've got my 2 eggs. I don't know if you can see that. I got my 2 eggs, the ground beef. I don't know if my camera is focusing. Half a Quest bar and the cheddar cheese, and it equals to about, there we go, I think about 6 net carbs and 516 calories. Now, I know that's a little high on the calorie count, but I'm not too worried about it because I also went for a morning jog, so I feel like I've already burned off this meal before I even got to eat it. So I'm gonna keto on. All right, it is that time of night where we're gonna go ahead and make some dinner. I got my iced coffee and we're gonna get to cooking. Tonight we are having a bacon wrapped meatloaf. That's right, totally keto, bacon wrapped meatloaf. I found this on dietdoctor.com. I will link it down below, and that way if you want to try it, go ahead and click on that link and let's get to cooking. Okay, so I have my pan heating up over medium heat, and I'm just taking 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the pan, and we're just gonna go ahead and cook up a half a cup of diced up onion. Okay, so now that I have gone ahead and fried up my onions for a good 2 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and set this to the side to kind of let them cool off a little bit while I get the ground beef. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions to the meat. They've cooled off for a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and add half a cup of, it calls for heavy whipping cream. I do not have any, so I'm just gonna use some half and half. So just a half a cup of this. Half a cup of some cheddar cheese. About a half a cup of the sharp cheddar cheese. I just have store brand. 1 egg. I need a tablespoon of dried oregano, or you can use dried basil, but I love oregano. Now you can use a spoon if you want to, but I do not mind getting my hands dirty. A cookie sheet I'm going to use, and I've already sprayed this with some nonstick cooking spray. Now I actually have a loaf pan and a meatloaf pan that's got like 2 trays, and it's got like the holes in the bottom so that all the grease could like go underneath. So I've never actually made a meatloaf on a cookie sheet before. So this is definitely new to me. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna shape it into your, the loaf. And then now we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up in bacon. Okay, so now this is gonna go in a 400-degree oven for about 45 minutes. Okay, so this is what the meatloaf has turned out after 45 minutes of cooking. And then okay, first off, I realized that I should have put the bacon strips going this way instead of this way, because as you can see here, and right here and here created a little pocket that was like pulling up with like some of the grease and some of the fat from the beef. So definitely make your bacon strips go this way instead of this way. And then after 45 minutes, I ended up just getting, put this a little closer to the heat for about 6 more minutes just to kind of crisp up the bacon. But this is how it turned out, and I'm gonna let it sit for just a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up and I'll let you know how it turns out. For the kids, I have some mac and cheese and corn and some biscuits. I will not have that, but over here I just fixed up some salads for me and TJ. So that is what is for dinner tonight. All right, y'all, this is the part of the video that I wanted to talk with you about how I did for the month of February, where I'm at, and some new things that I have learned along the way to get me to where I am right now. And if you just stay till the end, I will let you know how much weight did I lose overall. So if you keep seeing me look down, I'm just actually just looking at my notes down here. Okay, so for the month of February, I did lose a little, I gained a little, just kind of went back and forth a little bit, but towards the end, I learned a few things that I ended up tweaking my diet, and that really helped me get to where I am today. So earlier in the month of February, if you've been following me, my family and I did go camping, and I didn't keep it like strict keto or anything like that. I did allow myself to have some treats like the s'mores, or I ended up making a farmer's skillet, which had potatoes in it and things like that. It was really good, but then I learned that after our camping trip that I don't feel the greatest when I eat that kind of stuff. So I learned that anytime I eat pasta, rice, or potatoes, I just feel kind of blah. Like, not that I'm beating myself up over it. There is a difference. You physically feel just not great. So that's just something I learned, that, you know, if I am going to eat something like that, I'm going to keep it very limited and just completely stay away from it. So that would be better. Also in February, we also had a winter storm. So I kept it as keto as I possibly could. For the most part, while we still had power, I was able to cook things that, you know, were keto friendly. I was able to eat things that were keto friendly, but for the time that we did lose power, my husband ended up getting out the camp stove, and I just made some chili out in the backyard. And yes, I could have made a keto chili, but I really just didn't want to. And it worked out fine. It was just the one day. It was not a big deal. But like I said, just keeping those times where I'm not keeping it keto very limited. In the mornings when I have my coffee, I like to play around with my carb manager. So before I eat anything, I will put it in my carb manager or any keto app that you are using. I just put everything that I'm thinking about eating, just playing around with the macros and seeing what will help me not go over. That's just been really been what's helping me there. And I guess that's part of what everybody always tells you: plan out your meals. So not just, oh, I'm going to have this day and that day, but actually physically put it in your carb manager or whatever app you are using, and that way you can see the macros before you eat them. So also for the month of February, I been making sure that I track everything. I've been weighing everything, measuring everything. There was a period of time where I was kind of getting away from measuring my foods, and that's when I started seeing that like the scale wasn't changing. So I thought, okay, got to get back to measuring and weighing everything, and then that's when I actually start seeing a difference. Something that I learned too closer towards the end of February that was really helped me like lose the weight that I had kind of gained a little bit was calories do matter. You actually have to be in a caloric deficit in order to lose weight. I know a lot of people out there will say, you know, don't worry about counting your calories or fat or protein or whatever. Just, you know, make sure that you stay 20 carbs or less, you know, when you're trying to lose weight on keto. Yes, in the beginning, yes, to help you kind of get used to staying under 20 net carbs a day. I think that would probably be a good thing, just to kind of help you focus on one thing at a time, because when you're focused on all these other things, it can be kind of overwhelming. So if you're just starting out on keto, yes, only pay attention to your carb count. If you're trying to lose weight, stay under 20 net carbs. If you're just trying to maintain, then maybe you could have a little bit more. You'd have to play around with your own macros to figure that out. But in the very beginning, I think it would be best just to focus on the carbs. But if you've been doing it for a while, you still want to pay attention to your calories. You have to be in a caloric deficit. So for me, what I was trying to do was stay under 1,000 calories a day. It's not always very easy. For my carb manager, I'm allowed to have 1,537 calories a day. So I try to actually stay under that. Most days I can actually stay like around 900 calories a day. I'm focusing more on calories than I am on anything else. And you know what? That still allows me to stay under 20 net carbs. And in most days, I'm even able to like only hit 10 carbs a day. If you just focus on your meats and your vegetables, you can actually do it. If you start adding in like the keto friendly snacks, that can add up. Everything adds up. Something else that I have also been, something else that I did learn was that you want to pay attention more to your protein. A lot of people say that, you know, and I even said it too. I said it myself at my 1 month, like how I did on my 1 month. People will say that keto is a high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet. Yes, but I think really you have to play around what works best for you. There's very different, lots of different versions of keto. You know, you have your dirty keto, lazy keto, strict keto / clean. There's the low carb. I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but the way I feel that works best for me is not the fat. It is focusing more on top of focusing on staying under your calories, I've actually been focusing also on my protein, making sure I hit my protein goal. A lot of people will try to focus on hitting their fat goal, and I don't actually feel that that is the best way to do it, because if you're trying to lose weight on keto, you're trying to train your body to use the fat you already have stored on your body to burn that for energy. I don't want to bring in more fat, because I want to use the fat that I've already been hanging on to this whole time. So I'm trying to get my body to get used to, birds are distracting me out there. I'm trying to get my body used to burning the fat I've already got stored and just focusing on my protein. And I think the best way to do that, again, you still want to focus on all your meats and your vegetables, and you will naturally get your fats from the foods that you're eating. And I actually stay full. I'm not as hungry as I normally am. Instead of like having like half an avocado, I will actually only have 1/4 of an avocado. Because again, I am trying to keep my calorie count down. I'm trying to focus on my protein. And if you really think about it, if anybody is having any issues with like any hair loss or brittle nails or things like that, your hair and nails are made of protein. So keeping your protein high will probably help you keep, you know, I mean, we may end up having, you know, thinning hair, or, you know, sometimes, you know, hair's gonna wind up in the shower anyway, but it probably won't be as bad. I know taking collagen is a really good idea. I still take my collagen every single day. I put it in my coffee. You've already seen how I do that. But focusing on that protein goal and then making sure you get your veggies in every single day keeps me full. I hit my protein, so I feel like, you know, between my hair and my nails, they're not as weak and brittle as they used to be, because I've always had nails that would grow like a certain length and then they would start chipping and breaking. And if they're made out of protein, I mean, I think I would probably want to keep my protein up high. So more focus on the protein, less focus on the fat. I want my body to burn the fat. I don't want to take in more. that makes any sense. Of course, the other thing that I have been trying to make sure is that I drink plenty of water. Okay, so my camera turned off on me and I didn't even realize it, so I don't even know what I've already said. That's nice. So the other thing I started doing, and I can actually thank Charlotte for that, is I started jogging. If you ever hear me say I went out for a run, it's not a run, it's actually a jog. In fact, it's probably like the slowest jog ever. I'm not very good at it. I'm pretty sure a 3-year-old could probably keep up with me. That's like how slow I go. But you know what? I don't care, because I'm still getting out there. I'm still burning calories and doing the best that I can. Even if you can't jog, you know, if you just went for like a 15-20 minute walk, any exercise is going to benefit your health. Charlotte just learned how to ride her bike without any training wheels, so she is super excited about that. So when she'll get on her bike, I can jog behind her. And so her and I have a pretty good dynamic when it comes to exercise. And sometimes she'll even jog with me, and she can run faster than I can, but her run is like my jog. So I mean, she basically runs my pace, so it works pretty good. And so we've been doing that, and it's been helping us both out a lot. Another thing that I have learned is that you can definitely overeat on keto approved foods, whether you're having your meat and your veggies or your snacks and things like that. Yeah, you can overeat, and it can cause you to stall, and it can also cause you maybe even to gain weight, for that matter. I think I actually did that like once or twice, where I was eating keto. Everything I had that day, it was totally keto, you know, whether it was the pork rinds or just like, you know, some pepperoni slices, you know, like not even one serving, like half a serving of pepperoni slices and string cheese. Yep, I still overate and I still hit a stall. So in those Quest bars, you got to pay attention to those keto approved snacks, because you can, that will throw you over. I know that those Quest bars, they are really good, but like there was one that I had picked up, it was like 5 net carbs. Well, if you're only supposed to stay like 20 carbs or less, 5 net carbs is a lot. And you can easily get thrown over with that. So, I mean, you could, like I did earlier, is that like I cut a Quest bar in half, but also keep in mind that when you plug it into your carb manager or whatever app that you're using, typically will not understand like half carbs. So obviously if you're having, you know, a Quest bar, it's like 5 net carbs, but you only had half. Well, Carb Manager it's not going to recognize 2.5 carbs. It read it as 4 carbs. I'm like, well, no, I didn't, but that's just the way it's going to look on the Carb Manager. So just keep that, you know, thing in mind, that when you are eating these keto approved snacks, sure, they taste good, and you may want to eat the whole thing. If you have a food addiction that, you know, it's just like, well, I can't just, you know, it's like a thing of Pringles, you know, you can't just have one, you want to eat the whole tube, you know what I mean? If that is a struggle for you, as it is for me a lot of the times, I can't just have half. So I would rather not eat that. I mean, I did earlier. Be conscious about the keto approved snacks that you reach for. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. So I think that is it. I think those are the main things that I have really learned on this journey so far for the month of February. And drum roll. So how much weight did I actually lose for the month of February? I lost a total of 5 pounds. So I know that is not as much as January, but January and February combined, I lost 20 pounds in 2 months. So that is still a big achievement for me. So sometimes, like, you know, if holidays are going to come up, or if you are vacationing or things like that, in which case we went camping. And so if you're going to have days where you're just going to be like, I'm not going to be so carb conscious for a little while, keep that in mind. It's going to be okay. No big deal. Just get back on track. And I just had to tweak things a little bit, you know, like I said, caloric deficit, calories do matter. I don't care what anybody says, you have to eat less calories if you want to lose weight. So, but it wasn't like towards like the last 2 weeks of February where it clicked like, oh, maybe I should eat less calories, or, you know, focus more on my protein. I was finally able to get those couple of pounds that I did gain off, and a little bit more. And so yes, so it was only 5 pounds, 20 pounds for the first 2 months there, and I think I'm doing pretty good so far. So anyway, that is it. Well, that is it for today's video. I want to thank you so much for watching, for being here. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so by clicking that red button down below. And I will see you next time. Bye.